Welcome back to the channel. This is Roberto with Full Curl Precision. Oh, man, it's been a long day. Anyway, for tonight, before we get started, we would like you to please like, subscribe, share, comment, as much as we can. I know I'm going to try to cut down the lengths of the videos a little bit because I've noticed that they don't get as much long-range viewing as I was hoping they would get. Average is about between 5 and 7 minutes. So I'm going to try to keep it short. But if you can help us get to 200 subs, it'd be much appreciated. We're going to do a giveaway on a hat, a shirt, and an ammo box. Again, we want to be able to do this. So, getting into tonight's topic, there's always some questions that come up whenever you're doing anything kind of relatively new. Yes, it is wildcatting. Are there different forms of what I'm doing? Yes. But at the same time, not exactly how I'm doing it. I have different goals in mind. I'm not just doing some fun project toy thing for myself. This is actually to try to get something out to market. The questions that come up is, well, why would you do this? No one's asked for it. It's a great question. That's actually even a great point. But you know what? That's okay. Nobody asked for the 308 either. No one asked for the 30-06. No one asked for the 270, the 7 Rem Mag, 300 Win Mag. Nobody asked for any of the Creedmoors or the PRCs. Nobody asked for the 375 H&H. Whatever cartridge you can think of that you really like, no one asked for it. At least no one that you really know. It's less about whether or not someone's asking for it as it is, would people want it if it was available? So here's the thing. A lot of people do ask for 27s. There's a reason why even Savage now is starting to chamber in 6.8 Western. There's a whole bunch of companies that are starting to see the benefits of 6.8 Western, and it's starting to gain a little bit more popularity. Why? Because people do like the 27s. There, a few months back, a handful of channels, so Backfire TV, Steven Lyons 23, Ron Spomer Outdoors, and there was a couple others. They did surveys on what the number one choice for deer cartridge was. And by the vast majority, it was the 270 Winchester. Now, depending on the exact survey, it was anywhere between like 18 and 20%. So roughly 1 in 5 hunters have chosen the 270 Winchester for your average medium game cartridge because it does pretty well with it, right? So it has its place. Now again, 308 is phenomenally popular. So is 30-06. But it kind of is interesting that when people make a statement of, well, no one's asking for your version of a 27. Okay, let me ask you something. If you go back, how many 30 calibers can you list off the top of your head that are popular? I can list a good handful. So you got 30-30, you got the 308, you have the 30-06, you got the 300 Win Mag. Okay, that's just 4 off the bat, and those are pretty easy to get. You got a handful of others that have been tried over the years. One that's unfortunately not as popular, but should be, the 30TC. A phenomenal cartridge, actually way better than the 308. The other is getting into, now you got other ones. You got the 300 WSM, you got the 300 Savage, you have 300 Weatherby Magnum, you got just name it. There's a whole slew of 30 cals, and they all do really well. But you got a good handful that are affordable options. So predominantly, your main 3 most affordable are going to be your 308, your 30-06, and your 300 Win Mag. You go into your 7s. There's a handful of affordable 7s. There's a handful of affordable 26s. So on and so forth, right? There's all these other ones. But how many 27s can you really list off the bat? Not many. So, wouldn't it be nice for the guys who do like the 27s that they can at least have the option? Just because maybe you as an individual haven't asked for it doesn't mean that there aren't others that have. Doesn't mean that there aren't others that would be like, man, I'd like to try that because it hasn't existed in my budget range yet. And so it's easy to try to dismiss something just because it's not your preference. But guess what? You ain't the only one in the world there, Bubba. All right? There's plenty of people out there that like to try new things. and they like the idea of new concepts. There's a lot of classics, yes, and they absolutely do the trick, but it doesn't mean that there isn't always room for improvement. So what's this video talking about? Mainly, number one, don't poo-poo an idea off the bat until you actually seen the credentials. The other side of it too is just because you have it's not necessarily your cup of tea doesn't mean someone else hasn't asked for it. And last I checked, no one has crapped on anyone else for liking the 308. It's a really good cartridge. It's versatile. Ammo is available everywhere. I get it. So what this comes down to is maybe it's not something that you would personally want to own, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of others that would like to. So learn to respect other people's decisions and their preferences as long as they're doing things legally and ethically, right? That's the criteria. So other than that, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Check out my website, fullcurlprecision.com. Check out the hats, the shirts, ammo boxes, things like that. We want to be able to provide top quality service to anyone who is a customer. So that's all I have, and we'll talk to you again.